Teri Lucas. Welcome to Quilters Rule the World. I have a thing for color.
And I'm Tracy Mooney, and I have way too many irons.
I have a cat named Audrey, and Audrey decided to help me with the quilt that I had on my design wall. She tore it in 4 places. So I did this fun little thing where I put an applique flower. Where'd it go? I had it just a minute ago. Honest, I did. There's this pretty little embroidered flower. There it is. This pretty little embroidered flower covers up a hole in my quilt that was big enough it wasn't mendable. Thanks, Audrey.
And that was Lori Baker.
Oh, I didn't say my name. Thanks, Michelle.
I'm Michelle Freedman, and I wear my patchwork heart on my sleeve.
And I'm Debbie Brown. I search for sanity in 2.5-inch scrap blocks. I hope it kicks in soon.
I love that so much, Debbie.
I'm looking
Down to kick in any day now.
Any day.
Rooting for you.
I'm sort of hoping it doesn't, because I want to see how many you can make.
The challenge.
Sounds like a challenge.
Okay, so.
Oh, 18 an hour, by the way. I can make 18 blocks.
18 an hour.
18, 16 patches in an hour. I've timed it. Did I mention I'm searching for sanity?
You may have veered slightly off the beaten path of sanity. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so one thing, I spent some time with Debbie this summer. It's the first time in a long time that we've had to sew together, right? Since what, 2019?
19.
And we hugged each other for a whole minute, like a whole minute. It was glorious. And the difference between speed between me and Debbie is hilarious.
In my sewing room, I have 2 sewing machines. Well, I have many more than that, but I have 2 sewing machines set up. And one of them is a high-speed straight stitch machine that I use for piecing. And the other one has a few more bells and whistles, and I use it for machine quilting. They're each inserted into a table, and they sit back to back. Teri was on my fast piecing machine, and I was piecing on my quilting machine, and we were facing each other.
Debbie's foot pedal is floored, and she is just zooming away. And then I'm like...
on a machine that does over 2,000 stitches a minute.
Yeah, I clearly do not go 2,000 stitches per minute.
I do not either, if that makes you feel any better. I'm so slow.
Maybe we should self-identify right now as a turtle or a rabbit. Just get it out in the open.
Turtle.
Rabbit.
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 Tracy, we're in the minority.
I was about to say that too. We need one more person on the call tonight.
Okay, sometimes I'm a turtle. So I'll be like neutral zone.
She can't decide if she wants to be fast or slow.
You got to do different speeds for different things.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but only temporarily slow down.
No, only
You don't
temporarily.
want that to be permanent.
Debbie, I heard a rumor about you. You got a new iron.
Oh, I did. I did. Last winter was very challenging for me in many ways. And when I came out of the other side of it, I said, heck, I am going to treat myself. And I sent myself on a very nice quilt retreat. It was fantastic. It was absolutely amazing. It was the creative kick that I needed, because this year has been tough last year, 2023 was a rough year, and I hadn't sewn for months and months and months, not even a stitch. So when I went on this quilt retreat, just at the end of 2023, I started quilting again. It was lovely. And they thought of everything, the quilts on the beds, and there was, pressing stations and cutting stations and all of that. And I got to use one of those fancy schmancy steam irons that has the hose going to the reservoir. I know Rowenta makes them, Laura Starr makes them. And my nickname is the Iron Killer. I'm the killer of irons. Because I go through about one every 18 months, and I've actually broken it to the point where it's come into pieces. So I know intimately what the inside of my $30 irons look like. And it worked just fine for me. I was really, really happy with it. Finally found the brand I liked. So I was at the retreat using their irons, and I came home with my new sewing mojo. And I went to iron. I'm like, is this thing on? Because it's not working. So yeah, I bought myself a steam reservoir iron, and I just took it out of the box today. So I haven't had a chance. So I'm still covered in styrofoam from the packing, but I'm very excited. It's the exact one I used, so I know I'm gonna love it.
Oh, yay. That's
Nice.
amazing. Tracy, how many irons do you own?
Look at her trying to avoid answering.
I'm counting.
Oh, okay.
I recognize that face.
Yeah, she's like,
Counting. I was like, there's 3 over there, and there's 1 over there. And then I have 2 little bitty ones. How many is that? 5, 6?
I
And-
lost count.
And do they all work, Tracy?
They all work.
Okay.
And I just ordered 2 more.
2?
Do we need to have an intervention?
Maybe.
No.
Well, so I've acquired several through work. Let me just specify. And one is a Laura Star, which is phenomenal. I had gotten one as a gift years ago, and it's a cordless Panasonic. And honestly, it's still up there as like one of my favorites. My sister bought it for me, and it works really well. And
Is
then
it one of the ones that has the dome over
Yep.
it? Yeah, I broke
So-
that one.
I have 2 of those now. Because I did a promo for Panasonic, and I got one as a gift. And then I took an Elisa Mini home from work in case I needed to film something with an iron. And then I've got 2 like of those like wandy ones that you use for like in the embroidery hoop projects.
Oh, yeah.
And then I just ordered 2 Elisos. In my defense, they're the tulip pink, and
No
and
explanation needed.
it was really cute because it has like fishes on the side of the reservoir, and then when you turn it and on the base plate it says don't feed the fishes. It's cute.
That is cute.
And I needed the big one and the small one because they were a set.
Yeah. It makes
I concur.
So
Mhm.
there you
Michelle,
go.
what's your iron stitch?
Oh dear. So I have one iron. We're friends. We're frenemies, actually. I
I
broke
haven't in years.
yeah, I broke my faithful iron. I loved it. It's replaceable, the exact same one. But I haven't replaced it, and I really cannot, there's no logic at all. So I've gone through a series of other inferior irons that will never live up to the one that I have to replace. That has not been replaced yet. And I'm a little stumped answering this because I'm aware of my strange iron situation. I have one that it was expensive. I don't love it. Um, it doesn't press as satisfactory as the other one that I had. So I've been using other things with it, like wool pressing mat and clappers and so I feel like I'm well accessorized. I'm just a little deficient as far as like the perfect match for the tool that I really would most enjoy using. So there is a new iron in my future.
Yay! Lori?
I am like Debbie. I am an iron killer. I have a Rowenta. I love it. I've had it for a year, and if things go like usual, I use water in my irons,
Okay.
and we have really hard water, and I kill my irons. I'm going to expect sometime in the next 6 months my iron's going to die,
So
and I
you are
have a little
also
one too.
you're also named Lori Baker, quilter of quilts and destroyer of irons.
Yes, that's it. My official title.
We have the same crest.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are
So,
hilarious.
so Lori, why don't you just use like distilled water instead or bottled water?
I've not had any different luck with that.
Okay.
They wind up leaking even with distilled water.
Do you
Yeah,
run the
I've had that
cleaning
happen.
cycle with your iron?
Occasionally, yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Like define occasionally.
Well, it depends on how much I'm sewing.
Right.
I've sewn 4 days in a row and I've run the cleaning cycle once.
Okay. Makes sense. So you're running it fairly frequently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Harry, when you were at my house last summer, do you
Yeah.
remember the noises that my iron was making?
Yes. And
It
didn't we
was,
have a conversation about irons?
we did because my iron was sighing.
Do
Every time you
you
moved it, it would go every time
and
you
I'm
touched
like,
the iron.
I said, Debbie, why don't you just get the Oliso? And she's like, no, I like my so many dollar sunbeam, and this is what I'm always going to get. How in this conversation I feel vindicated.
It was kind of like when I said, Mom, it's just a prom date. It's not like I'm going to marry the guy. Yeah, I married the guy. I bought the iron.
Did I tell you guys my iron story? Uh, so I'm a quilter. Are you guys surprised by this?
Not really.
I'm a quilter who's lost her crown. Apparently, I've lost my street cred. So one winter night in New York, it was like stupid. It must have been like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm in the room. I was in my sewing room. I had closed the door, and I'm like, looks kind of weird in here. Like it sort of was like fogging up, and I'm like, sort of smells funny. And I keep quilting because I'm not registering that something's wrong. Like it didn't even trip. It didn't even get to a point where it tripped the fire alarm in my room. So my iron was billowing smoke. Like I don't know what happened to it. It was just billowing smoke. I unplugged it, opened the door, ran downstairs, like opened the window, opened the door, ran downstairs, put it outside because I'm like this could have been really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a new iron after that. And now
I should hope.
well, the man that I'm married to, who I lovingly refer to on social media as my sweetie, offered to uh do something with the cord. I'm like, no. no, we're not going to start playing with this. But now I'm the happy owner of three Oliso, two mini pros. I have a mini pro yellow and a mini pro. I got one because it was purple. Is anybody
And it's
surprised?
probably
Orchid.
better.
Huh?
Orchid.
It's better because it's
Purple.
purple.
It's yes, Tracy, you are technically correct. It's orchid.
Has anyone had an iron conversation with a non-quilter? They kind of glaze over and don't understand our dedication to our irons. My sister lives near our mother, and when my sister travels, I go and stay at my sister's house and then keep my mom company. And I always take some quilting with me. And I forgot my iron one time. So I'm texting my sister and do you have an iron? She's like, I think I got one as a wedding present, but I couldn't tell you where it is. And I called my mom, who lives very close to my sister, and I'm like, do you have an iron? She's like, yeah, I don't think I've used it since your dad died. So I went to Target.
Yeah.
That's your emergency backup iron.
Yeah. No, I already broke that one. But but I told my mom I got this iron with all this excitement, and I could just hear dead silence on the phone. She didn't understand. Oh, I got an iron. I don't think non-quilters understand.
So
My
Debbie,
husband does.
your husband does. I
Yeah.
kind of have the opposite. I I can't complain out loud about my iron because my family will be like, "Oh, Michelle needs a new iron," and then like the next gift giving occasion, I'll get like a whole bunch of irons. This happened, so I made a comment that I thought that I think it's Black and Decker has like a vintage sort of repro
Mhm.
iron. I thought,
Mhm.
oh, that reminds me of like grandma, and that's so neat. And look at that cute cord. And guess who ended up with two of them? And it
Is that the
spits.
one without the steam holes in the bottom?
It just spits. It spits on everything. And I don't like spitters.
I broke it.
No spitting. Zero. So
I once heard sometimes if you put cold water into, or even room temperature water very quickly into a reservoir, you'll crack it, right? And
Hot,
water
right?
will start coming out. I may have done that once. Um, and so I heard somebody refer to my iron as being incontinent.
Depends.
I see what you did there.
Uh,
That's so awesome.
can we
So-
talk about reservoirs? Can we have like a group discussion about water, no water,
Yeah.
burping Alisos, like all the things? Because I love having this conversation with all y'all.
Okay.
Okay, so you lead.
Okay.
Well, so because I was a garment sewer first, I always used steam. And I've recently stopped, like in the past couple of years, and I use a spray bottle. Um, not even that much. So I've sort of switched allegiances to not having water at all in my iron unless I need it specifically for something. So it kind of I guess I'm a little conflicted about this because I always like to think like as I'm pressing, I'm also shrinking all the fibers instead of like pre-washing or something. But without the steam, is heat enough? And am I burning my fabric? So I have a really long ongoing internal dialogue about this. So I'm really excited to talk to you guys about this
Can I
tonight.
ask a question?
Mhm.
And I want everybody to answer this, so the rest of you get ready. What is your heat setting on your iron?
Cotton.
Incinerate?
That's me.
Yeah. I think the incinerate is generally where it lives, unless I'm using a special fiber.
Yeah.
She's
And
shaking her head at us.
as far as
I-
water in the iron goes, I've done the misty thing. I've done the best press thing. But for me, it's the hills I'm willing to die on are two spaces after a period, the Oxford comma, and water in my iron.
Fair enough.
2 out of 3 isn't bad.
I was waiting to see
Guessing.
before he was going to say something.
No 2 spaces after the period, I'm guessing.
That's
I'm
the
gonna
one.
grab that clip.
I put my husband through university typing dollar a page, 2 spaces after a period.
But was that on an old typewriter, not on your computer keyboard?
Yeah,
That's why.
I know. And if you offered me an IBM Selectric today, I'd still take it. Anyone who types would understand, who old-timey secretaries would understand.
There's a feel. She's like, yeah. All right, Tracy. Oh,
Tracy's cracking up. You're gonna.
I actually had an IBM computer, a desktop computer with the Selectric keyboard attachment on it. And if you could give me one of those for my iPhone, I would use it.
You'd go for it. Okay.
Hard to get in your purse.
Tracy.
I understand the keyboard thing because like, every computer's keyboard is slightly different and it's a little bit annoying. So I'm there with you. What was the question?
Water, iron.
Water and
Water
water.
and heat.
Oh, water. Yeah, incinerate. And I, like Michelle, have been flip-flopping a little bit because I've had issues with the iron not like having water in the reservoir and then it like steaming and steaming and steaming and it causing rust on the holes. And I had that happen twice. And so with the Laura Star, we use water in it. I flip-flop on that one, on using that one. It kind of depends upon the project and if I really need like my seams to be flat because that will flatten it. Like that will flatten the seams, especially if I use my wool pressing mat in that. But on my second Panasonic, I attempted to go sans water and just use a spray bottle. And then I like went to market or on vacation or something. And when I got back, someone had put water in it.
I wasn't there.
I'm pretty sure you were with me, Lori. So, so yeah. And then you can't get the water droplets out of it. So it was kind of annoying. And it took a really long time to not put water in it because you could see it's clear.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to figure out like how it didn't, if you left the little sliding thing open, how it didn't dry itself out.
I don't even know, other than I don't know that heat gets to that part because it's all plastic and the reservoir actually slides off so that you can bring it to fill it up with water, which is a very nice feature. So anyway, I've sort of gone back a little bit towards just using the dang steam.
Lori.
Water, steam, and as hot as it'll go. If I'm working with a specialty fabric like silk dupioni is one of my favorites,
Yeah.
then that changes the rules considerably.
Right.
But quilting cotton, I use steam, I use starch in a spray bottle, and I use a hot iron.
Okay. Well, I'm the odd one out, shockingly. Second time tonight, Debbie.
Debbie.
I, I worked for a company that a cell stabilizer for a while. And one of the things that I found out with their stabilizers and their other adhesive is that they use a medium iron for all of that. And I was completely stunned that by going on the high silk, low cotton end, so not all the way up to the high end, that I was actually getting better pressing with my iron than I was on sizzle. And it was that to me was really fascinating, first of all. And it was kind of eye-opening because I stopped burning my fingers. You know, because like you're going along. Yeah, I know it's so weird.
Where's the
Um,
fun in that? Does that show? I have a collection of iron burns up and down my arms.
I had one here. It's finally gone away after years. But yeah, I that was actually one of the reasons that I went to the lower. And then I use a product by um the Magic Company. It's their new product. What?
It's my favorite.
Will it, ladies?
Well, and you know, I love Debbie. She is the queen of fast, right? Totally the queen of fast. And I'm like, you know, I'll spray my fabric. I'll walk out of the room or I'll go do something else. Then I'll come back. What the product that stuff has soaked into my fabric, kind of seeped in, and then I can press on my medium heat, medium high heat iron and go for it. And I'm perfectly happy. So,
So what is this mythical creature?
huh?
What is this magic?
Uh, it's over
magic.
there. It's a product. It's a product.
Trying to see if I've got a bottle.
Do you?
Here, I might.
Well, I actually just bought a whole gallon of it
Oh, yes, I'm going to
when you move. I can edit that out.
No, it's fine. I'm sure by then I will have announced that I'm moving. When I move, I'm gonna get a gallon size. It's so good. I like this stuff.
Oh, so
So is
wait.
this a starch alternative?
Yes. And it's by here it is.
Oh, look.
Bottle.
It is called
I have one
Premium
too.
Quilting and Crafting Spray.
I have a little mini
Look at
one.
mine.
I have 4 bottles this size, and then I have a whole gallon.
Yes.
So, but
It's by Magic.
yeah,
In my defense, as a quilt industry professional, I have been marooned at home for almost 4 years. So I have not seen, touched, or tried the latest and greatest. So thank you.
you're welcome. And
It's life-changing.
this Debbie, this is actually one of those products where I'm like, I will use it consistently. I have tried Mary Ellen's Best Press, and it doesn't do for me what it doesn't get things as flat and wrinkle less.
It adds
Comfy.
body to the fabric too.
Right.
That's what I think is really interesting, is it like changes the way it feels and makes it so really beautifully, and then it washes right out.
Mhm.
In my search for this, because I have tried the Mary Ellen's, and I've made my own with
Mhm.
vodka. Anybody been down that route?
Yeah.
That's a fun
New
route.
windows. I had this door and new windows installed in my sewing room when we rebuilt our house. We had a little tree incident.
In
But
my room.
the in the bedroom Teri sleeps in, it took a direct hit from a very large tree. But while we were rebuilding, they were in here in my sewing room, and I have a very large bottle of very cheap vodka in here left over from those days, and it got noticed by the working crew, which was kind of funny
They're
because
like,
I don't actually drink. It's kind of embarrassing to go buy a really big bottle of vodka for $9.
But that's when you're buying
And now I
cheap
use it as a shower cleaner.
Oh, does that work?
you can use it
it's-
as like a deodorizer too. Gets rid of
It doesn't, it helps your shower dry without streaks. I put some essential oil and some and mostly water, and then it evaporates without the alcohol smell of using I can't say it, like the rubbing alcohol. I can't say
Yeah.
the word. I don't know how, I don't pronounce it right.
Isopropyl.
That one.
That's it. That's
Yeah, you
it.
don't get that alcohol smell in the shower from it.
Mm.
And can I introduce a hot topic that's
Please.
on my mind?
Ready.
Do you say that you're ironing or do you say that you're pressing?